Good afternoon, everybody. It's Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the show. I'm along with Scott Steehn. My name is Scott Steehn. I'm the lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com.
Scott Steehn is along with Scott Steehn.
The star of the show is this guy right here, who you'll notice is sweating a little bit less today. It's the one and only, the lovely and talented Chris King. Chris, it's the ongoing saga of your air conditioning. Yesterday, when we last left you, the guy was there. It had just finished up. Everything was working. The air conditioner was running. Last night, you texted me and you said, my wife's complaining because it hasn't come down to temperature yet. And you said, it just takes a while. And I go, buddy, it's been 8 hours. It should be at temperature. Chris, what's the story with the air conditioner today?
Well, apparently, we're still trying to figure out what the problem is because we got down into the 70s at least. So, I mean, at least it's not terrible, right?
It's better than it was, man. It's better than it was. But
now the line on the thermostat has disappeared, so I couldn't tell you what the temperature was.
Absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. So that's our daily Chris air conditioning update. So
brought to you by Air.
Brought to you by Carrier, the fine folks at Carrier. When you were
and the most ironic thing is you mentioned Carrier. Willis T. Carrier
invented the air conditioning.
Right. You know where he's from? He's from the town that my wife and I are from.
Illinois somewhere?
No, Angola, New York.
Oh, there you go.
The same town that brought college basketball fans one of the greatest enemies or, hated people in the sport in Christian Laettner.
Okay. Very good. That's a fine bit of trivia right there, buddy.
Willis Carrier and Christian Laettner. Two dudes that you probably, one dude tried to keep people from feeling like they were in hell. The other dude they just wish was in hell.
You know what I'm doing tonight? I'm showing my age. You know what I'm doing tonight? I'm going to see Styx and REO.
Oh, that's good. That's a good show though.
And Loverboy.
And to quote the Moon and Knights from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. You ever see that show on Adult Swim?
Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Yeah. Friends of mine were really into it. I thought it was stupid.
And those are Loverboy songs, and Loverboy has always sucked.
I was not a Loverboy fan back in the day. Turn Me Loose and Working for the Weekend. Yeah, okay, that would be kind of fun.
What about Hot Girls in Love?
That's a good song. I'll give you that. So they'll probably play 45 minutes. So it starts at.
But REO Speedwagon, they've had a pretty lengthy career, and
they're relatively intact. Cronin's still singing. Bruce is playing bass. I think Neil Dowdy's still playing keyboards. I think they've replaced Alan Kratzer on the drums. I think he's finally gave up the ghost. But the new guitar player's probably been there 20 years. Since Rich Raff trying to drink himself to death.
And who's in the lineup for Styx? Is Tommy Shaw there?
Tommy Shaw and JR are really the only ones. You've got the new keyboard player. You've got the new bass player. But Panazzo still comes out and plays like a couple of songs because he's got AIDS. He's got HIV.
Right.
So he can't tour, but he does tour because every time I've seen him with the new iteration, he's come out and played a couple of songs. So he still tours with them. He just can't play a full show. So.
Yeah, and back to REO Speedwagon there, like you said, Gratzer's been gone since '88.
There you go. Oh, okay. So it's been a minute.
And Rich Rath is dead.
I told you that since he drank himself to death.
Yeah, died in 2015.
Okay, that was actually later than I thought. I thought he was around 2010. So
yeah, he's been gone since '89. So
okay, so that's why I had that. So yeah, he has been over there over 20 years. That was my guess. Unknown Entity had a six-legger last night with the Padres, Giants, Toronto, Nerfy, Miami Marlins strikeouts, and that you gave on Golden State. Prop you gave on Golden State. Beautiful. It's fantastic. Well done. Which
prop did we give on Golden State?
You gave some player props about.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
And that game changed at the end of the third quarter when Brown missed that three, and then they come down and
he banked it in to go up by one, right?
Yeah, the bank was open for Jordan Poole. And,
it really was.
After that, Boston reverted to what Boston did in Game 4. Take bad shots, turn the ball over.
Yep. Of course, my play of the day was the third quarter, the only quarter Golden State lost. Thank you very much.
Well, but I mean, like you said, it was a sound play. It had been 14-5 in the playoffs, and we've seen them, dominate the third quarter over and over again.
Absolutely.
Then, I saw Reichel tweeted that Steve Kerr with the great halftime speech that they turned a 12-point lead into a 2-point lead in a minute 45 seconds coming out of the locker room.
Yeah, they did. Absolutely.
Rye pointing out the Marlins bullpen was embarrassing. That's a whole nother ball of wax.
Well, there was some bullpen shittery yesterday from the Cubs as well.
This is true. We were talking about that yesterday too.
I took a plus money flyer on the Cubs. I thought Justin Steele would step up. He did. I thought Hugh Darvish would suck. He did not. Those guys had a great pitcher's duel for 7 innings. And then the Cubs bullpen came in the fucking clown car. And
Rowan Wick walk, single. I think he was still in there when Hosmer doubled, and then they yanked him.
Yep. Hosmer. I bet San Diego so much, and I watched Hosmer, and he never does shit. And of course, the one time I fade him, it's Hosmer. I'm gonna guess opposite field double.
No, he cranked it to center.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Lex says one more day, because you were looking for extra pressure, Chris. I know coming up with 14, 15 plays a day, that's enough plates in the air. But you know what? Give me another plate to spin. Give me that Lex Steel plate. Give me that. We take requests here. We're like a good radio station.
A good rate. There aren't very many of those anymore, let me tell you.
It's 109 here in the heart of the Midwest. It's a hot one out there, guys. We play the hits. Make sure you get your calls in for those request lines. So, hey,
of course, if you want us to actually play your requests, you have to pay us.
A little payola never hurt anybody. By the way, everybody, now that we have everybody kind of gathered around the campfire, if you would, guys, take a minute, smash that like button, give us the thumbs up. We appreciate the effort. You say you love us, prove it, damn it. And of course, get subscribed to the YouTube channels, Winners and Whiners, and the place you are right now, the Max Wagers Network YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, God damn it, do it. Get your ass over there and subscribe, of course.
Now, hold on, Scott, before we continue. James is complaining that we're making videos to take money lines at Juice 200. I don't know if you looked at the lines at all, James, but if you look at the lines for today's games, there are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the 16 games on the schedule that had a favorite that was at least minus 200. It's that time of year. We're going to have good teams playing crappy teams. There's not a whole lot you can do about it.
What's he looking at? When nobody's released plays for today. My play of the day, I'm taking a run line at 109. Is he looking at yesterday?
I don't know, but when you're at this point of the season, when you've got the haves and the have-nots, what would you recommend that we do?
Especially with home teams, because if you've got a home team and they're laying 220. You're going to get them
like the Red Sox or the Yankees or
right. You're going to get a nice price on the run line, but you're getting one less at bat if your team's ahead. We talked about it. This is the time of year. Those massive favorites clocking in at 165 and 175. That's over. This is once you hit June, you're going to start seeing 230s, 240s, 300s.
Yeah, as it was, I stayed away from the Atlanta game today because it was 250. I said, well, I'm not going to put that one up. That's why I left Logan Webb off.
So
I plugged it in and I was like, oh, well, that's just horrible when I looked at the numbers.
And again, we're gonna pick our spots. I've got a premium today that's plus 190. So.
Oh, you must have taken one of the.
I'm not going to. Well, I did, but so
I'm just trying to think which one it was because I think I probably saw it, and then I just said I don't want to touch that one because it just looked.
So here's my non-sarcastic advice, James. If you don't want to lay 230 or 220 or 200, whatever it is, I don't blame you. Look at the run line. If you're not digging the run line, then either play the other side, or find a prop, or find another spot. That's because it's. The reality of the situation is that's the numbers we're going to see going forward if you have a perceived pitching matchup. Now, having said that, a lot of time it creates value on the other side.
Oh, he's saying Winners and Whiners put out the Dodgers Angels.
Oh,
I don't know who did
Riders, that. About the Riders. Yeah, okay. So, because generally they're going to pick a side, right? You're not going to take a run line play, right?
When we have to write them,
Right,
If it's over 175, you're supposed to play. If it's a favor, you're supposed to play the run line, or find something else,
or play the other side.
Right.
Okay, very good. All right, so there's a little behind the scenes inside baseball that gives a little bit of strategy and also lets you know how much I keep up with what's going on as far.
Well, because like I had to do the Blue Jays Orioles game,
right,
and it was -2 something, and I took the Blue Jays on the run line.
Okay,
and at that point it was -105.
So that's good looking out, James, because that's absolutely not supposed to be something that happens, because you don't. The theory there being is you don't have to go to a third-party website to find out the Dodgers are better than the Angels. Oh, really? No shit. Hey, well, thanks. Appreciate it.
I mean,
heads up there.
Full disclosure, I have the Dodgers listed in one of the parlays. I don't have it at -200. I got it at -180, but I also have the run line listed because that's what I do. I give you guys the option as to which one you feel more comfortable with.
Right.
And for that matter, if you're really crazy, you could play. Take somebody like Trey Turner at plus, I think it was 310 or something, to steal a base, because if there's somebody that gives up stolen bases, it's Syndergaard. I looked up his numbers. In his career, they've thrown out 18 attempted stolen bases out of 172.
Rye brings up a great point. He says, just bet NASCAR. It's all plus money. unless you play one of my props where I am in the habit of playing 170 or so. One of my matchups. But he's right. Yep. Okay.
Wow, look at that. It's got F. Jeffrey Mayer. Boy, talk about going back to the 90s.
Nice.
Is that you, Tony Tarasco?
I thought St. Louis fans are still bitter over the 85 World Series, man. It's good to find people still pissed at Jeffrey Mayer.
Hey, I'm still pissed about Bartman.
Jeffrey Mayer's probably retired by now. You're still pissed at Bartman. Oh, that's
well, I mean, it's not as hostile as it was in 2003 and all that since we won in 2016, but
takes a little bit of the edge off.
Yeah, but for that stretch there,
So here's the other thing you can do with -220, -230. You can put it on top of a parlay and a little sweetener. Like my dad, when he drank iced tea, he'd use about a quarter of a pack of Sweet and Low. I'm like, there's no way you can tell the difference. It's just a little fucking sweetener. It's just a little something to put your value on there if you want to throw that in there. And that's what some of those are good for sometimes. So what else? Don't forget to listen to all the great content over at the Max Wagers Network, starting at noon with Sean Higgs doing midday money. Added Burns at 1 o'clock. You got your morning wood. 2 o'clock is me and Chris talking about air conditioning. 3 o'clock
and REO Speedwagon.
And REO Speedwagon, baby. 3 o'clock is Reichel and I doing Back to the Window. 4 o'clock, Sean Miller, soccer from around the world, and bringing it all home with the Earl brothers, Tim and Nick, along with Detroit Lenny, bringing you your game time decision. You gonna do Alley tonight?
No,
not doing Alley. Good boy,
no.
Cotton. All right.
No, I mean, especially with this situation, I don't want to be in here any longer than I have to be necessarily.
I will be doing it live from the parking lot. I won't be doing it on my.
Are you serious? You're doing it from the parking lot?
I am. Before we go into the show, and I'm probably going to be late seeing Loverboy because I'm doing the show.
Now, see, I would just say no, but she needs to move it. Then you can't miss Loverboy.
I want to see if Mike Reno looks like my brother by now.
Mike Reno probably looks like an offensive lineman.
He's a guy that fought the plate like I did. The plate won.
Now, one last thing about Sticks. Do you miss Dennis DeYoung?
Of course. He was a great showman, great voice. The dude's got a good voice, the guy that plays the keyboards. And again, I've probably seen him 4 times in this iteration. These guys, I keep thinking of it as the new guys. They've probably fucking all been with him 20 years. I'm just old, and that's an old band. Right, Cape says he's still pissed at Joe Carter for the off of Mitch Williams.
I remember that.
I do too. I was watching that game as many of us were watching the Toronto Blue Jays win that one.
But to be fair, Rye, you should just be pissed at Mitch Williams because as a Cubs fan, nobody liked him when he was there either.
Rye wants to know what the fuck is Loverboy. Loverboy, one of the finest bands from the '80s. Working for the Weekend, Turn Me Loose. What was the other one?
Hot Girls in Love.
Hot Girls in Love. Hot Girls in Love. Anyway, great pictures. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Thanks, Unknown. We appreciate it. Chris, still got our deal with Caesars, man. Pretty cool.
That's
deal.
true. We do. They just changed the promo code for us. You know,
They did?
make it more interesting.
I think they're just seeing if I'm paying attention, if I'm reading my emails, and I am. It's $1,100 first bet insurance. Your first bet, if you've never made a bet at Caesars with their sportsbook before, this is your opportunity. If they are in your state and you are 21, unless you're in Wyoming or New Hampshire,
Or you have to be 8.
free for all. It's world gone mad there.
If you can see over the bar, you're good.
That's right. If you can read the ticket, you can bet the ticket. No, you got to be 18. You got to be 18 there. And of course, you got to use the code. It is CZR15, Caesar 15. That code is in the description of today's video, along with the link. Click that link; it'll take you right there. And what else can I say? Yeah, just like it sounds. You make your first bet up to $1,100, whatever it is. If you were so unfortunate to lose it, Caesars will make it good. If you win it, congratulations, your account just doubled up and you're off and running. So, Super Slice says, I think the best thing I've learned from Scott, and Chris is to consider the value. I know it's obvious the bets, but yep, always you start being that properly. Absolutely correct. You have to look at the winning. You have to look at the percentage when you're talking about the odds. And anybody, that's one of the biggest mistakes rookie gamblers make is they treat a minus 130 the same way they treat a minus 110. And it's like if you go to the store and you're intent on getting something, it was on sale. You get there, it's no longer on sale. You're like, fuck it. I wanted that pair of shoes anyway. I'm going to buy it. It's the same deal. It's the same exact deal. So thanks, Super Sly. We are here to help. We are here to help, my friend. So, Chris, we've talked about air conditioning. We've talked about classic rock from the 70s. We've talked about Caesars. We've talked about subscribing, liking. Don't forget to download us in podcast form. If you can't have an opportunity to watch it, we're available on all your major podcast platforms, usually relatively quick to the time this is over. So, that being said, take it away.
You can talk about premiums there. You can throw those in.
Oh, you're right. If you want more of Chris's picks, more of my picks, went 2-1-1 yesterday on the premium side after 3-1 the day before. So we're kind of rolling over there. Either way, this man hits a 10-teamer about every other month. So if you want to be a part of that.
Yes, now you just put that in Lex's head. Now he's going to want it to be tomorrow.
No. So we have the link to our premium plays in the description for today's video as well. Okay, that's all I can think of. That's all you can think of to help me out.
You are correct.
All right, let's do it. Let's make some money, buddy.
Because we already talked about the Max Wagers Network and everything else. So hopefully the people that didn't get here will watch the podcast and realize, oh, that's right. I forgot. That's right. So let's talk about some hockey. Let's talk about some basketball tonight, buddy. Yeah,
that's right. We got nothing.
We got any arena football? I mean,
you're gonna have nothing. Let's talk about the results of the Kansas City Women's Football League the other day.
We could talk about how Tyreek Hill thinks that Tua Tagovailoa is more accurate than Mahomes.
I can't even with this guy.
My response to that was watching all the passes that bounced off Tyreek Hill's hands that got intercepted.
Yeah, somebody put a nice montage together of that from last year. I think there's 4 of them.
At least.
Including a pick 6 against Buffalo. So
yeah, Micah Hyde.
There was a game changer. Chiefs trying to get back in that game, and boom, shut the door. Over. Same way against Chargers. Same way against that diving interception that they made after it went through his hands at the 20 or so.
Yeah, and then there was one against Dallas too that I saw in that montage.
I would not be surprised. I don't know. I have to see how many people are tuned into social media. If Tyreek Hill, and I know he's not playing them this year, but we'll see how it goes. But I would not be surprised to hear a smattering of boos at area for Tyreek Hill.
I think it'll be fun to watch him get smacked around because let's face it, Tua Tagovailoa throws a deep ball about as well as Steve Grogan.
And it's ironic because in college he could actually whip it down there. He could actually throw deep, but they don't talk about it enough. They don't talk about the difference in the football between the college game and the NFL game, about it being more elongated and it's just a little different to grip. You'll see that a lot of times, guys that can't step up to the next level and throw with the same authority they did in college. So, how about some Guardians, buddy? How about some Guardians?
Yeah, they're going to Coors Field. That's a scary proposition, isn't it?
Good times.
But I mean, I like Cleveland here. The pitching matchups in their favor. It's Shane, don't call me Justin Bieber, taking on everybody's favorite batting practice pitcher, Antonio Senzatella. who doesn't miss bats. So, I mean, he might as well be throwing in the home run derby. 20 strikeouts in 41 innings. He's walked 9. His whip is over 185. ERA of almost 5. I know he's coming off a decent start against the Giants last week, but Scott, this is a guy who's given up 67 hits in 41 innings. Not really a good thing when you got a Cleveland team that's actually in the upper third of the league in runs per game. I know Colorado scores a lot at home, but how are they going to deal with Bieber?
He has really been pitching well lately, Chris. And this is a, the thing about Sensatella. If you look at his starts, he's had 9 starts.
Yeah, he's gone over 8 of them.
3 of them have been horrific, just the stuff of nightmares, and the other 6 have been anywhere from moderately okay to pretty damn good. So my theory on this game, and I don't know, lately I'm getting the feeling you're just looking at my play of the day and then making the first pick, because this, once again, this play is my play of the day.
Actually, I didn't know it was your play of the day. Like, I have time to look at anything.
Right. Michelle's like, yeah, did you see my video? Yeah, I got right on that. I was checking that.
Yeah, it's right at the top of my list. No, I slept through it.
I'm just writing off. Let's just say Sensatella pitches to the best of his ability. I'll still take Bieber in his form right now. The Guardians playing the way they're playing against max effort Sensatella, and that's the kind of the way I capped it. I just said, okay, so 2/3 of the time he has decent starts. Okay, fair enough. So let's say he has a decent start. Let's not say he's going to have one of those shitty ones. Let's say he has a decent start. Do you still like this play? I do. So that's kind of the logic that I use in this one. Guardians have won 10 of their last 13, playing really good ball.
Yeah, and while Bieber didn't get a decision in his last start, that's because they had a rain delay.
It was a weird deal. I actually read about that, and they didn't let him know until like too late to get him warmed up properly, and it was just a whole. And then they delayed it when they shouldn't have, and then the rain started. He had 1 out in the 5th inning. He needed to get through the 5th, and it was the whole thing was like fucked up from beginning to end. So yeah, you can just even though he had good stats in that start, you could pretty much throw that out because it was so outside the norm of what he's used to, with delayed warm up and not knowing whether they're going to play the game or not, and that kind of shit. So, and then he rushed through warm ups going into the 5th to try to get the inning in to get the win.
Yep.
But as it turned out, he got he didn't get the win, but the Guardians got the win because they waited 2 hours and played out the bitter end of it. So, but anyway, anyway, just to extrapolate on what you were saying.
Yeah, but I mean, Bieber, like we said, he pitches well. The Rockies, they can score at home, but they don't stop anybody else from putting runs on the board.
Yeah, what are they? They score 5-8, give up 5-9. Is that right?
I believe so. I'm going to pull that up here real quick.
I think that's
they score 5-8-1. They give up 5-8-8. So
yeah, there you go.
So yeah, not good numbers from the pitching staff, and like we said, Sensatella is basically everybody's batting practice pitcher. That's not the kind of thing you want to do when you're facing Jose Ramirez and a Cleveland team that's hitting the ball well.
Yeah, they are. And you pointed this out about the Rockies following a win. They can't put together a 2-game winning streak to save their life.
They're basically the Rick Vaughn Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, 1-11 off a win, not good. Yeah, I'm a fan of this play. I just like the way Bieber's really thrown the ball well. He's been good all season, but he's been really good. His last 5, 1.67 ERA, 1.07 WHIP. Cleveland's 4-1 in those starts, and the loss was not his fault. So, yeah.
Marlo wants to know if Juan Soto quit last night. He's dealing with a knee issue. He apparently smacked his knee on the dugout bench.
Oh, that hurts.
So there's that. His availability, he's going to be reevaluated today.
My new thing I've started doing is hitting my head as I get into the car, and I do it about once every 6 months. I'm like, how do you go from, you're like 1 for 1,500, just the one time? Like, how does that happen? How does your body go? Nope, this time we're going to be a little bit different.
Well, didn't you get a new set of wheels lately?
I did, but I mean, it should be the same. I don't know, man.
Not necessarily. I mean, if it's a lower, I don't know if it's a lower profile.
No, it was. I was doing it before. I'd love to.
Oh, see, I was trying to bail you out.
I know. I'd love to blame it on that, but I can't. So, all right, Guardians run line. Big fan. Wish there was more value. There's a great example when we talk about you're only getting In tech, when I think I took it, I was getting 55 cents. At least you got 60 cents here, but it only goes from 165 to 105. But why is that, you ask? Well, because the Guardians are the visiting team. They're guaranteed 9 at bats. That's the entire reason right there.
Bronco wants to know if you got a Kia.
I got a Kia? No, I told you I got a Q7. I got an Audi. I had a Hyundai, a Tucson. I loved it. It's fucking. I can't say enough good things about it. I had no problems with it. But I just got so spoiled every time I drive my wife's car. I'm like, I want to get a fucking Audi.
Bronco said he's got the Braves, Dodgers, and Giants at plus 203 for a 3-teamer. That's not bad considering, all 3 of those teams are prohibitive favorites.
There's a great example of what you can do with 3 mismatches right there. Now, having said that, one of those games likely, statistically, will be an upset. Because if you're minus 200, that means 2 out of 3 times you win the game, obviously. So if you have 3 games, one of those games is statistically likely to go against you.
Bronco thought you worked at Kia.
I worked at Kia. I sold Kias for a while. I did sell Kias at one point in my life. I've owned 2 Kias. I had a Kia Sedona van and I had a Kia Optima. Like both of them. I have nothing bad to say about Korean cars. I've had 3 of them in my life, and my son took my Optima after I had it and took it to college. Absolutely drove the fucking wheels off of it. So 180,000 miles, very few problems with it. I got nothing bad to say, man.
And now Truman's got a Lambo, right?
He does not have a Lambo. He's got a. I told you the story. He got a Honda Accord,
and then somebody stole it.
Hybrid. First night he was in New Mexico for 2 years. Came back to Kansas City, moved to the Plaza. First fucking night in this highfalutin, fucking beautiful apartment complex, rolling locked gates. First night, car was fucking stolen.
Man, I was just joking, but how about that?
And then he ended up, and he's got a Kia K5 right now. So
Bryce says he drives a 91 Chevy.
Nice.
I had a 94 Suburban. I got rid of it last year because I wasn't really using it,
I had a 99 Expedition, Eddie Bauer.
Oh, those are nice.
Yeah. Hey, what the hell happened here? What?
And Scott's camera has vanished.
This cord is really sensitive. Like if I move the microphone at all, for some reason, it cuts my camera off. I don't understand why, but go ahead, Dave. Let's go on to the next game.
All right, we'll move on to the next game. And that's the White Sox and the Tigers. Hey, if you watched that game yesterday, congratulations. You survived one of the most unentertaining games in Major League Baseball because Tony La Russa didn't intentionally walk somebody with 2 strikes. The White Sox won that game 9-5. So look at that. They're only 3 games below 500 now.
Here they come.
They're making a run.
Here they come on the run with the.
They're in 3rd place in the division because, they got the Royals and the Tigers.
Because somebody has to be. That's by default. Yeah, you're 3 games under. People, there's 4 teams in the NL West going. Why the fuck can't we be in that division?
I think the Pirates are saying, why can't we be in that division?
The Guardians, they're coming on, buddy. What are they 5 back? 4 back, right?
Is that? Let me double check here because I still have the standings open on one of my other tabs.
Or maybe they're 3 back, because I think they have the same number of losses. It's weird.
Yeah, the Guardians are 29-27. The Twins are 36-27. So 3.5.
3.5. Okay. Yeah, there you go. White Sox Twins. What do we got? Dylan Cease
against the guy who couldn't play quarterback, so he decided to go back to pitching.
Okay, I'm not here to roast one of probably the top 50 dual sport athletes in the world. So yeah, I'm okay.
But Hutchison, he hasn't had a ton of success. They just called him back up from Toledo because they have no arms. I mean, where all the hype that hey, look, we got Casey Mize and we got Matt Manning and we got Kyle Funkhauser and we got all these other guys and
Screwball.
Yeah, you got Screwball, but now the only one that's pitching is Screwball.
Yeah, and he got lit up last time. I finally got like a ton of people on the Screwball train, and then he went out and shit the bed last time out. So you're welcome.
Well, I mean, he didn't get any help either.
That's very true.
But Hutchison hasn't started yet. He's 0-3 out of the bullpen.
Last time I looked, Detroit was averaging 2.7 runs per game. That's just dreadful.
Awful.
Well, it's not in Marlins territory a couple of years ago where they were like 2.1, but goddamn, we played so many under 2.5 that year and just crushed it with the Marlins. You go 2.5, like yep, just play it. Shut up.
Yeah, let's see what Hutchinson's done in the minors this year. He is 1-0 with a 2.79 ERA and 5 appearances, 2 starts.
Okay,
he's only gone 9 2/3 innings.
And it's 2 starts, so you're not going to get a lot.
No, period. And 5 appearances, 2 starts,
including 2 starts. Oh,
yeah,
that's not good. So you're not going to get a lot of length out of it. It's not quite a quote unquote bullpen day,
but it's pretty close.
It's going to be a bullpen heavy day. How about that? You probably have to use your bullpen for 6 innings.
Yeah, they're calling back up. They're activating Tyler Alexander off the injured list. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the next guy in.
Okay.
But still, like you said, 2.78 runs a game. They're slightly better at home. That doesn't mean a whole lot when you're only averaging 3 1/4.
Yeah.
The White Sox have played well on the road against teams with bad records. They've won 36 of the last 51 meetings between the teams. They've won 4 of the last 5 in Detroit. The Tigers apparently can't capitalize against bad pitching, 6-17 when their opponent gives up 5 runs or more in their last game. And it's not like we've got a ton of faith in the White Sox bullpen. You have to hope Dylan Cease goes 7 innings and they have a multiple run lead because God knows that bullpen has been terrible. Kendall Graveman looks like he's got a foot in the grave. Liam Hendricks has been terrible. What a bummer, I think. Bummer's on the IL, I think.
Bummer.
Yeah, exactly.
Cease has kind of been a little bit of an enigma.
He's got to quit walking people.
Yeah, he is. He cannot. His outing last time was really weird. He gave up 6 runs, none of them earned, on 6 hits, 3 walks, no home runs. So usually you get unearned runs. Somebody makes a 2-out error, puts a couple guys on base, maybe loads the bases, then the guy hits a home run, and all those runs are, or they give up an error to start, and then they walk a couple, hit a home run, whatever.
That was that 6-run 5th against the Dodgers.
Yeah. So was that?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at what the hell happened there.
Was that the 4-error game?
It wouldn't surprise me. I'm gonna just pull it up here real quick and see what that 5th inning looked like because God knows. The White Sox, with or without Tim Anderson, no, they only had 1 error.
Well, that is just a bizarre anomaly then.
Okay, let's see. Here's the 5th inning for the Dodgers in that game. Turner struck out looking. Bellinger singled. Lux walked.
Okay.
Barnes bounced into a fielder's choice. Lux was safe on an error by Berger. So they loaded the bases with 1 out that probably should have been at least 2 outs, maybe a double play.
Yeah, you can't. Assume a double play though.
Yeah, then Betts fanned. So there's 2 outs and the bases loaded.
Oh, there's your 3rd out.
Yep. Freeman doubled the plate 2. Yep. Turner reached on an infield single, of course, to 3rd. So that played a run. Then Turner stole a base. Then Muncy doubled home 2. Then there was a walk. Then Turner walked again. Then they scored a run on a wild pitch. And then Bellinger struck out to end the inning.
Good Lord. All right.
Your Chicago White Sox.
Not good, folks. Not good. So that's why they were unearned. That's okay. That's really weird. So yeah, like I said, they had the bases loaded with 2 outs, and then they made what should have been the 3rd out. And game on from there. All right. Yeah, I'm okay with this. I don't love it as much as I love Cleveland. I just laying that price on Cease, although you're getting better value on the road team there. You're getting 75 cents.
Well, like we said, this is the problem is when we were looking at all the lines and they're all horrible.
Yeah, agreed. Again, it's one of those. I don't know if I'm going to back the Sox, but I definitely want no part of the Tigers in their unstable pitching and lack of ability to score runs. So
right. And for those of you wondering, in Game 1 of the doubleheader in St. Louis, the Cardinals with a 3-0 lead on the Pittsburgh Pirates.
There you go. I'm sure that was another reasonably priced game.
Minus 168 is what it shows.
That's in fucking Tuesday's bargain bin right there.
Of course, when I did it last night, you know what it was? When I sent out my picks? 135.
Little Cardinal money coming in early.
A lot of numbers changed from when I did stuff last night because I was just looking at, because I keep the sheet with all the stuff that I had put together, and it's like
Very good. Got any basketball?
no, we don't.
Got any hockey?
No.
Oh, fuck it. Then. Let's make some money.
Yeah, I'm just looking here. Some of these lines were blown completely up from yesterday. The Guardians were 135 last night when I sent it out.
See, and that's the other problem with doing premium picks, because you're doing the night before. You send. That's why I started doing them day of, because you can beat line moves. That's the nice part about sending them out. That's why I started doing it the day before, so you can beat line moves. But if you're not picking them up till after the lines move, then you're just going to get pissed. You're thinking we're going to be giving you shitty numbers. Well, it's 160, and you said it was 135, because then you want to know, should I still play it? And the answer is different on every game, because it comes back to value. What's the winning percentage? What's the number that they're going to win? How many times out of 10? How many times out of 100? So
right.
Hey,
I mean, the problem is, then if you send them out at 11 or whatever, then they're like, well, why'd you send them out so late?
I know.
So
it's a fine line. I don't do bad impressions of my premium subscribers. I assume they all are very erudite and speak correctly, but
WTF, man.
No. That's seeing is if you're trying to decide whose premium picks to buy, remember who treats their premium players with respect and who mocks them incessantly on the air.
I just remember who's hit 10-teamers and who hasn't.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll totally own that. You hit 10-teamers, buddy.
So do you want to go on to the other stuff then, since we don't have anything else to talk about?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Dennis DeYoung.
Never say we don't have anything else to talk about.
From
a betting perspective, yes.
Yeah, right.
We should keep the train rolling. Show me some.
All right. Well, let's skip ahead.
NHL. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, like we said, these numbers are terrible, and I apologize in advance.
-210. What the fuck are you doing, man?
But that's just, like we said, there's so many games that are -2 something, and I wanted to put Atlanta up there, and I thought, oh look, it's like 260 or something like that. I'm like, no, and that game could be worse now. Looking
at this, and I'm not even going to tell the game. I'm just going to rip it down real fast. 165, 180, 160, 150, 185, 135, 125. Okay. And then 195, 210, 185, 220, 135, 115, 135, 255, and 200. So,
yeah. So, I mean, there's not a lot of low numbers to work with. And if they're low numbers, they're not exactly,
sure.
Easy matchups.
Yeah. You want to get involved in that Zach Davies, Tyler Molly battle out there in fucking Phoenix? Knock yourself out.
I have it in the shot in the dark, but that's it.
That's how I would feel betting that game. A fucking shot in the dark.
One step away from you.
The other one is you can fade Hendricks with Mania, but Hendricks has this weird thing where he pops up and pitches well about once every 3 times. So
yeah, that's another one I haven't shot in the dark.
Okay. Well, I'll stop stealing your thunder.
Well, no, because you're right. And same thing with the Twins and the Mariners, because, Joe Ryan's back coming off the COVID list, and then you got Logan Gilbert. But we've seen Gilbert go up and down, and you don't know what you're going to get out of Ryan necessarily. So you're not going to throw them up here.
Absolutely. So you like Boston? You like that pitching matchup there with?
I like Pivetta. I mean, we talked the other day about how he had been pitching well, and then he came up a tough luck loser because, like you said, he gave up that homer to Ohtani in that game where they snapped their losing streak.
Yep.
But you can't really say it was a bad start. I mean, I know he gave up 4 runs in 5 innings, but he struck out 11.
Yeah, that's solid. And I imagine you could probably count very, very few times that somebody pitches and strikes out double digits and loses the game.
Yeah, and plus, he faced Oakland 10 days ago through 7 scoreless innings, allowed 2 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and an 8-0 Boston win at the empty building in Oakland. Good seats still available.
Good seats still available. I think that's their slogan this year. Good seats still available. So, on the other hand, Koenig has been he's been not good this season.
Yeah, he's only made 1 start.
He made the one start against Atlanta, and Ian Anderson didn't go well. 4 earned, 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. So yeah, I'm okay with that. Okay, talked about the Guardians. Cardinals. This is game 2. I'm assuming. Oh, there you go. You even wrote it.
Yeah, Mikolas versus Wilson.
Okay.
let's face it, the Pirates pitching staff, even Marlowe, as much of a fan as he is of the Pirates, will tell you that their pitching staff is not good.
No, they're not good.
And Mikolas is pitching well. I mean, he doesn't have the record to show for that you would expect. But, he's been a pretty solid pitcher. I mean,
so
has rejuvenated his career really going overseas and then coming back.
So because of the odds, you've basically built two shitburgers. So
pretty much, because that's all you can do with these.
But here's the thing: you still get plus money payouts. That's the point I was going to illustrate. You're still getting 137 on $100, and you're still getting 131 on $100. So you take two prohibitive favorites, you put them together, and you can eke out a little bit of value. That's exactly what we were talking about when you want to know how to play these games. That's how you do it. You put them together, you hold your nose, you find the two you like the best, you put them together for even money, and that's the way it works. So,
that's pretty much what I had to do with them. So
that's right. If you want to take the run line, there's a little bit of value because you've got a couple of home teams there with some better odds. So you can go 281 on 100 on the first one, you can go 340 on the second one. Again, not as good as your normal run line odds, but that's just the reality of mid-season baseball. So.
And Scott, real quick before we go to the 14er, Nicholas Lee asked, what do we think about the Lightning minus 1.5 games in the Stanley Cup?
No part of that.
So you think if Tampa Bay wins, it goes 7?
I do. I think this is going to be a tight series. I also think Colorado's got a pretty good chance of winning it. I know that Tampa Bay is the favorite because of the goaltending, but this Colorado team, again, a good offensive team, and stepped up at times and played decent defense in the semis or in the conference finals. So you like that play? You follow way more than I do.
I think you're right. I think it's probably if Tampa Bay wins, it's going to go 7. I think if Colorado could win it in 6, but they're going to have to solve Vasilevsky.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's going to be a long series. I don't know if I want to get into winning a series in 6 games. I know Tampa Bay has the experience factor going for them,
right?
But they've also been in 2 because the Florida series was a sweep, but they've been in 2 longer series. Toronto took them to 7.
Well, the question is, and somebody touched on it earlier, what does it pay? What's the value? If does it pay? Is it minus 150 or is it 6-1? I mean, those are two. And
that's true too. Yeah,
those are two extremes that neither one of them are right. But you've got to look. You say, okay, well, I don't think it's going to happen. Well, how many times out of 10 do you think it would happen? And that's what you have to kind of ask yourself. That's your starting point. And you figure out the value, and you figure out how the value relates to the odds and whether it's a plus EV play or not.
Yeah, I was going to see if they've got a list on the, what the lines are for, the future on that or what. Tampa Bay 4-2 is plus 550.
Plus 550.
Is the correct series result.
So
Tampa Bay minus 1.5, which isn't that basically the same thing? I mean, you can't win a series. It's not that you're going to win 4-2-1.
Well, you could win 4-2 or 4-1. I mean, that's what you're throwing.
I mean, you're not going to win 4-2-1 as in, an OT loss.
No,
they don't put that in there. Minus 1.5 is plus 275 at BetMGM.
Okay. So,
but I mean, if you're going to win at minus 1.5. Then you're saying that they're going to win the series for, like you said, 4-1 or 4-2.
Right. So that's it's a 2-part question. How many times did they win 4-2, and how many times did they win 4-1? Basically,
right.
Is the difference there? So, I personally don't see any way Colorado doesn't get 2 games out of
that. I'd be inclined to agree.
Okay. All right. At plus 550, minus 1.5 games, that might be a decent spin.
Well, no, at minus 1.5, it's plus 275. If you pick the series 4-2 straight out, where you say Tampa Bay wins in 6, it's plus 550.
I'm more interested in doing that. I don't care about the extra $4 in value to give me the 4-1 odds. Give me the 4-1 option. I don't care. That's not worth it. If I'm going to play that, I'm playing the 4-2 plus 550.
Right.
Still, again, a bet that's most likely to lose, but like your parlays, you don't have to win every one. You just got to win more than the odds dictate you should. So,
that's
all right,
true.
Very good. Soccer 4-teamer.
Yeah. Now, in here, I put a couple of player props in because I put in a bunch of numbers, and that payout that would have been in here originally would have been about $400. And I said, no, that's not going to work.
Okay.
So we changed it up. We got the White Sox in here. We talked about them. I'm going to go with the Yankees, Garrett Cole over Kluber. Kluber hasn't thrown more than 90 pitches in a game this season.
Okay.
I'm guessing you took Kluber.
What's that?
I was guessing you took Kluber in the Rays, judging from your face.
I don't. What was my face?
You know,
I don't know. I just know that I know that I have not had much luck forecasting what Garrett Cole's going to do.
That's true. That's why I figured you either took the Rays or you stayed away from it.
It's kind of been the running joke on this show that me and Garrett Cole aren't having a great year. So, where do you think he's at? You like the Yankees here over Kluber?
I just like the way the Yankees are hitting.
That's hard to argue with. I agree.
And they're playing at home, so they've got that. As Chris Woodward said, the Rangers manager, they play in that little league park over there, over in the right field corner. Kluber.
My distaste for that stadium is well documented.
Yes, I know you've brought it up a couple times before when we've talked about it. I know Kluber's come off a couple decent starts, but his high pitch count, like I said, is 90. So I mean, the Yankees can be a patient team and grind out in a bat, and he might be out of there after 4 innings.
You think he's going to throw 90 pitches in 4 innings?
He threw 73 in 3 innings against Baltimore.
Boy, that's not ideal. That's not going to get you many wins.
And in that game when Reed Detmers had his no-hitter, he threw 64 in 3 innings.
Man, that is just horrific inefficiency.
I mean, he's been better lately. I'm not going to say he's not. I mean, he threw 80 pitches in 5 against the Cardinals, and then he threw 69 to get through 6 against Texas.
Okay. Well, that's
but, I mean, the Yankees, that's a deep lineup.
Oh, no question about it.
And I think I'm concerned about whether Tampa Bay can keep up offensively.
Fair enough. Those are legitimate concerns. By the way, we talk about pitch count. Your pitch count varies year to year. What your average is, usually in the neighborhood of 15 to 16. The last time I looked this season, I think it's about 15.7 is what your average pitcher, how many pitches he throws in an inning. So you just extrapolate that out. You go, 15, 30, 45, 60, 75. And it kind of gives you an idea about where he's at, how long he's got left. And when you hear things like 65 pitches for 3 innings, that's a problem. So
you're like, well, the tank's just about empty.
Yeah, exactly right. And we've talked about it a little bit in the past. Someday we'll delve a little deeper. There's also leverage, whether you're in a high leverage situation or whether you're in a low leverage situation. If you're in there with the bases loaded, 2 outs, et cetera, obviously high leverage. If you're in there with 2 outs, nobody on base, those are low leverage situations, depending on the score as well. So those are generally take a bigger toll on a pitcher's arm than non-leverage situations or low leverage situations. So that's something else to keep in mind. What was the leverage of those pitchers? If a guy came out of the bullpen through 3 innings, was it in a blowout? Did it really matter? Was he just trying to get the ball over and have him hit it? So all things to consider when you're doing your capital. So you got Gonsolin over in strikeouts.
Did I put over or did I put under?
Under, sorry.
Yeah, he's gone under that number in 8 of his 11 starts.
Okay.
And, the Angels, they can put the ball in play. They just don't hit it very hard sometimes.
Very good.
And Ramirez over 1.5 total bases. Come on, he's playing in Coors Field. And we talked about how Senzatella likes to give up hits.
Yep.
You'd have to think that, I know the number's up there a little bit, and the 140 is probably about as high as I would go. But, Ramirez has a 641 slugging percentage this season. He's gone over 2 bases, at least 2 bases in his last 5 games. And like we said, opponents slugging .514 against Senzatella this year.
Okay. All right. Very good. If you were to put all 4 of those together, it was 766 on your hundo. And if you want to add the run lines on the Yankees and the White Sox, that juice it up almost double there, Chris. You go 1409 on $100. So a couple.
Well, we got some fun numbers in the next one.
7.5 to 1, about 14 to 1. Very good. And now, drum roll, please. Shot in the dark, and you're to blame. There we go.
Yep, I'm gonna stick with the Padres over the Cubs. I had them yesterday, and I'm a Cubs fan, but I just haven't. Like you said, Hendricks pitches well once every 3 or 4 starts. I just don't know which one it's going to be. And even if he pitches well, I mean, look at Justin Steele yesterday.
Yep, that's the thing. I got the kind of game I wanted from Justin Steele, the kind of game I needed to have to be able to cash that long shot or the plus money, and didn't matter. Didn't matter. Cubs offense still did nada.
Nope, not a whole. I mean, Jan Gomes had a homer, but
Well, Jan Gomes sighting, nice.
But Meneas pitched better on the road than he's pitched at Petco this year. He's 1-1 with a 3.03 earned run average, 0.96 WHIP, 12 walks, 44 strikeouts on the road with 5 quality starts and 6 outings. At home, he's 2-2 with a 4.15 ERA, a 1.25 WHIP, 12 walks, 27 strikeouts in 30 and a third. And he's only given up 3 homers on the road compared to 5 on the road or at home this season. That's kind of weird, giving up 5 homers at Petco.
Yeah, it is. It is. Got the Reds over the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, like you mentioned Molly and Davies. I don't like Zach Davies. He's not a great pitcher. The Reds won. Did the Reds win that game yesterday? I turned it off in the 8th.
Yeah, we had. Oh fuck! Don't even get me started on that. We had Diamondbacks team total over 4.5 for our farm play.
Oh, so it ended up 5-4.
Yeah, they put up 4 runs in the first 4 innings. And it's tied 4-4, so you got a 50-50 shot of being the fucking team that scores the run that you have to score. So, and they did nothing for the last 5 innings, no runs, just fucking beat us.
That's Arizona for you,
you bastards. Mets over Brewers.
Yeah, I can't figure out what's going on with Milwaukee. You talk about a team that's fallen off a cliff lately. It's the Brewers.
Yep.
Adrian Hauser going today. Like I told you last time, they were better off going with Doogie Howser. I'm going to stick with that. Until he can figure out how to get people out, which, he's had issues, 5 runs in 6 innings in his last start in that loss to the Phillies. A squeaker, 10-0. And then 2 starts before that, he gave up 8 runs in 4 innings against the Cardinals. I mean, I guess you could hope that he bounces back because, the 2 starts, 1 start prior to the St. Louis start, and then the start prior to Philadelphia, he gave 1 run in each of those, but he's too inconsistent.
Yeah, he's not the model of fucking consistency that Chris Bassett is.
Well, I mean, we talked about Bassett before, but
he's a hound.
Yeah, there you go. He's had his moments. I know he's struggled a bit of late. He's got roughed up by San Diego. He got roughed up by the Dodgers. But you're talking about 2 pretty good lineups there.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't know it. No part of laying 150 with Chris Bassett. You may win it. More power to you. Tip my cap. Say nicely done. People may back the play and they win. God bless you. Appreciate you coming by. I want no part of it personally. No.
I'm going to go with Minnesota. Like I said, Ryan's coming off the COVID list, so the Twins are going to have to use their bullpen, which is no surprise. I mean, come on, they threw Chris Archer yesterday.
Right.
But the Mariners, they're another team I can't figure out. They're like the White Sox. They've got all this talent. They went out and got Suarez and Winker and those guys from the Reds. And Robbie Ray. And they're still piddling along near the bottom of the AL West. If it wasn't for Oakland, they'd, be buried. What do you make of the Mariners?
I don't know. I really liked that team going into the season. I kind of had an affinity for them because they were a really good team against the number last year. They made us a substantial amount of money. They were undervalued all year. And I thought this might be the year to break through. I thought they were about a year ahead of the Royals. I thought they would be the playoff contenders this year. The Royals would play 500 ball, and then Mariners would be a serious player next year while the Royals would make the playoffs. Either one of those things are remotely coming close to true right now. So Mariners, not having a, not a dreadful all-time season. But there's 7 games under, man, and that's not good when you've got the Astros in your division.
Yeah, and I mean, the Angels lost 14 games in a row, and they're still ahead of you in the standings.
Yeah, that brings it all home right there. It brings it all home as to, number one, what sort of a falling off the cliff situation that was for the Angels. That's not like the Reds or the Royals losing 14 in a row. That team was in first place.
Yep.
I don't know. They may not have been quite in first place when the losing streak started, but they were more than a week removed from first place when that 14-game losing streak started. So, yeah, they went from top of the heap to the shit pile. But again, still better in Seattle. So,
well,
right.
at least we can say at least they're not from Canada.
That's right.
To quote Bob Uecker in Major League 2.
So you got the Twins there. You got the Astros over the Rangers. You talked about that yesterday. The Astros just own the fucking state.
Yeah, but blame Scott for the reason the Astros lost yesterday because he said, "I like it."
That's all it takes from me now, huh? Just a nod of approval, just a thumbs up, just an affirmation, and it's the jinx is on. Okay, all right. I see where you're there. I see you.
But yeah, it's Urquidy and Dane Dunning in that one.
Okay.
I look for Trout to go over 1.5 total bases. Gonsolin is, as well as he's pitched, still gives up some hits. Okay. And we know how suspect that Dodgers bullpen is. Just ask Mike White.
Mitch White,
sorry.
No problem.
Vlad Guerrero, I look to over 1.5 total bases too. Why not? They're facing Baltimore. He's homered in a couple.
Solid logic there, my friend.
He's homered in back-to-back games coming in. Don't need to hit a homer to go over 1.5. I mean, it'd be nice, but hey.
Yeah.
And talk about a guy that's been hitting the ball out of the park. How about Byron Buxton of the Twins?
It's feast time. Famine's over.
Yeah, especially now that Royce Lewis tore his ACL again and is out for the year. So
that motherfucker can hit the baseball. He can miss it a lot. He misses it a lot, but man, when he hits it, it goes.
And I'm going to go with Kluber under 4.5 strikeouts. He's just not. He's not missing a ton of bats. I mean, you look at his numbers. He's got 51 strikeouts.
I wouldn't say I've been missing bats.
And 55 and 2. That's right. That's right, Bob. But you look at his last couple of starts. He had 2 against Baltimore. He had 2 against the Angels. He had 3 against Boston. He had 4 against the White Sox.
Cool story, bro. We got to go. It's fine. It's 59.
There you go.
Kluber. Look at his stats. They're not good. They're all under 4.5. That's what Chris is trying to tell you. Hey, if you want to play that straight up, make it easy on yourself. It pays $78,000 on $100. If you're like $78,000, I piss on that. I burned $78,000 for breakfast. Well, congratulations. You probably play the run lines. There's an extra value. You get about 4 times your value right there as you go $308,000 on a $100 bet. That wouldn't even be bad to put like $10 on. Still make $30,000. That'd be all right. So
I love this. MLB Probables is listing Cease is pitching today and tomorrow.
Oh, that guy's good.
He's apparently, the Joe Necro of the current generation.
Dylan never cease. So there you go. That's the show, guys. That's going to wrap it up. We're one in the can here for Tuesday. We appreciate you dropping by. Don't forget to check us out in podcast form. Like, subscribe, rate, review, 5 stars, all that shit. We appreciate it. As always, good luck on all your plays. Hey, if you're not doing anything for the rest of the afternoon, a little bored, you need something to do, I'm rolling down to Studio B. I'll be right there with Scott in just a few minutes. Until then, you guys take care. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the great comments. We appreciate them as always. Chris and I will be back again tomorrow to get an update on his air conditioner and then
hear about the concert.
But eventually we'll circle back around and talk about
Just Parlays.
We'll see you then.